I moved out of my parents' house a little bit more than a year ago. I had been wanting to take my independence for a very long time. Since I was a kid, basically. I was dreaming of having my own place with my own stuff, my own rules, and my own life, basically. On November 27th, 2021, I got all of that. I moved into a new apartment in one day. I remember how exciting it was, but also how exhausting it was. And now, it's time to do it all over again. I have a year full of projects ahead, and in order to make everything happen, I need to move back to my parents for a few months. The way I see it, it's not a step back, but more so a transition to greater things. So this move gets me excited still. But that also means I'm leaving my very first own home, and I most likely won't be coming back here ever. So, with me being quite a nostalgic person, I thought it would be a good idea to have some footage of this place to look back on, aka an apartment tour. I was lucky enough to have a small garden outside. The amount of sunlight I get in a day plays a huge role in how well I'm doing mentally. So having a space to myself right in front of the house was definitely a plus. It's a small garden, pretty much made of weeds, so the maintenance work wasn't too much. I still was able to grow some veggies, plant some flowers, and make it a bit nice during the summer, which was more than enough to make me happy. I also spent a lot of time outside on what I've called my terrace. Very spacious, I know, but it was big enough to put a table and 2 chairs, so that was good enough. Entering the apartment, there's this hallway, which is just big enough to align a few pair of shoes, hang a few jackets, the dog's gear, and my keys. But there's also this photo of mine that I printed. Actually, that's the most interesting detail about this hallway, as it's a photo of my dog, Miss Bianc, and probably one of my favorite shots of her. Right in front, there's this bathroom, which has mostly served as a storage room. There's one cool thing though, this small built-in shoe storage that was useful in there. On the left, we get to the dining room, again, just big enough to hold a small table and a few chairs. I don't have many decorations in there, just this one, which is quite accurate. It's always coffee time. And that I thought was pretty cool. This one might be actually my favorite decor that I have in this apartment. And of course my plants are probably some of my favorite things in the apartment as well. Moving on to the kitchen, I was lucky with the storage that I got in there. There's just so much space, I didn't even need much other furniture, as I was able to store a lot in these cabinets. Also, this one is one of my favorite things in the apartment as well. It's pretty cool. The main problem with the dining room, and mainly the kitchen, is the amount of light, almost with lack of, coming in. It sometimes is so dark in here, even during the day, that I need to turn on the lights most of the time. In the kitchen I also have a small pantry with my washing machine and some other house stuff that I'm storing there. Moving out of the kitchen and onto the right from the hallway stands my living room. The room in which I've spent most of my hours. It gets so pretty in here in the morning when the light's hitting the windows. And it's also where most of my plants are. I'm sort of a plant addict. I also have a small collection of books in here, most of which I haven't even read yet. Because I go to the library and just love the smell of books. End up buying the ones I find interesting, put them on a shelf back home, and forget about them. Whoops, my bad. This living room is also a home to my ratties. Freya, Neptune, Ivy, Olive, and Feather. And there's also my dog's personal space there. And my family's dog's portrait, as I miss her a lot and she deserves to be home with me too. Moving on to the bedroom, nothing too special here. My bed, obviously. a mirror so I can kind of get an idea of how acceptable my outfits are before heading out, laundry bag, and oh, Miss Ginger again. There's also this built-in closet, which gave me more space for the rest in this room. And behind I've got my own bathroom with the shower and everything. So that pretty much sums it up. It's not a big place, but it's big enough for someone to live here alone. I've had a good time here, and I've really felt like home. For a first apartment, I can say I'm really happy with what I got. A lot has happened in here in a year, within these walls. And now I'm just ready to close this chapter of my life to open a new one. Till next time, take care.